All right, guys, so we got a question the other day from someone within 8am world, and the question was something along the lines of, how do you not fall into the trap of work porn and instead focus on living a God-aligned lifestyle, or God-aligned life overall? So the very first thing, I'm gonna tell you guys a bit of my story. Around 2019 to 2022, I definitely was someone that fell into this like work for work sake, glorifying like 17, 18-hour days. There's nothing wrong with this, but it kind of became like the main focus of my identity. And I scaled my business pretty successfully. I wasn't doing $1 million months, I was doing $150,000 months. Vast majority profit, traveling the world, attracted the girl that I wanted in my life. But at the bottom of it all, the end of it all, I was still unhappy. So this led me down like a pretty long sort of spiritual path. I was rereading the Bible, the Quran, learning Hinduism, Judaism, and just talking to different people who I thought might have the answer to overarching fulfillment. And really none of it answered any of the questions that I had until I picked up a book called The Autobiography of a Yogi. This was Steve Jobs' favorite book. It was George Harrison from the Beatles, big fan of it. It was the only book Steve Jobs had on his iPad, and copies of it were given out at his funeral. So I had read the book back in 2017, decided to reread it, I pick it up, and I just realized that everything that all these major religions are saying about the world not being able to provide you fulfillment, and different spiritual practices, the author of this book, Yogananda, takes it all and just makes it all make sense in a very succinct sort of life autobiography story. And so this led me to, unbeknowingly, moving into a new apartment in Los Angeles, which within the first week I found out was next door to one of Yogananda's headquarters in Los Angeles. I lived there for a year. I started attending these lectures that the monks that live on the property host, and it just totally transformed my life. And so this basically brings me to the next point of daily meditation. Before I continue the video though, there's a link in the description. If this topic is interesting to you, I created a brotherhood for creative entrepreneurs who focus on aligning under God, creating original works, and then connecting based off that creation. So bonding with people that can help you push your mission forward, or that just appreciate the music you're creating, the art you're creating, whatever that ends up being for you. So there's a 300 or 400 person wait list. Click the link in the description to apply. And we host weekly masterminds, we host events. We're in Bali right now. We had an event a couple weeks ago. It was amazing. So I'd love to see you apply. All right, so daily meditation is what I found the answer. But the thing is, it's not the Calm app, it's not the Headspace app. And I love Eckhart Tolle. I saw him live in person at a retreat. Eckhart Tolle definitely gets it. But unfortunately, if you just read Eckhart Tolle and you just practice Eckhart Tolle, I found it doesn't really bring lasting fulfillment. So what I found is that if you actually have a special practice of meditation where you use meditation not as a means to an end, but as the means itself, that's the key difference. So what I mean by that is that most entrepreneurs, especially guys who get caught in like work porn and just focusing on and making more money and thinking that'll fulfill them, what happens is they view meditation as a tool. They view it as something that they do so that they can focus more, make more money, and then they'll be happy. Whereas the shift that helped me kind of ascend to the next level was realizing that meditation is essentially, it's a bit more of a reverential thing. You're humbling yourself at the essence of the creative force that's controlling or emanating the entire universe, which pretty much every religion calls God, right? So that's what meditation is. It's not to get more productive, it's to honor God. That's it. So when you shift every start of your day to honoring God in like a 15, 20, 30 minute meditation, it takes on a whole different energy, and your entire life starts to shift from, oh, I need to make more money to feel peace, to realizing that peace is something that emanates from the soul, which is a piece of God that's in you. And that's where peace comes from. From that state, everything else about your life can transform. In work porn mode, everything you do is reactive. You are essentially paving a path to hell because you're waking up, checking your notifications from your team, waking up thinking about, oh my God, I have this to do, that to do, that to do. And you're just in this frenetic energy. And when you let that operate your life moving forward, it creates more of that. So you create what you focus on. And if you're focusing on stress and all these people you have to respond to, you're just gonna create more of that. So what I do is I wake up and I focus on the soul, the kingdom of heaven within. There's another really amazing book called The Surrender Experiment, which was very transformational in this journey. And it's written by a guy named Michael Singer, who eventually, on this very spiritual path, became a billionaire. And that's why I recommend it to entrepreneurs, because it's like, all right, well, I can listen to a spiritual book by a guy who made billions of dollars, right? It's a bit more relatable than like this Indian yogi who came here in the 1920s. And although he did build like a successful organization, I think it's pretty interesting for entrepreneurs to hear about a perspective of a very spiritual person who ended up making billions of dollars in a merger. And he actually sold his company essentially to WebMD for like $6 billion. So anyway, this book is a very interesting story. The author, Michael Singer, also wrote The Untethered Soul, which you may have heard of. That's like his most famous book, but The Surrender Experiment is his autobiography. And so, long story short, one day he was in college, he realized that there was this annoying thinking mind that just kept thinking thoughts, and he couldn't get the thoughts to stop. So he went on this spiritual path, tried meditating every single day to start his day, trying to just shut up the mind. And what he found eventually was that if he just ignored what the mind was telling him and instead responded to how his like kind of soul was expressing itself from within, that's a bit vague. I'll kind of get into that in a bit. More potent and more easier to understand is if you just look at how life is organizing itself around you, the people that it brings into your life, the circumstances that seem to happen without your control at all, if you respond to those and you let those kinds of situations kind of guide you, that's like the hand of God, as opposed to your mind telling you you need to hit X revenue to do the next step and the next step. And so I would just recommend reading this book. I could kind of go more into synopsis, but I'm going to skip that. Keep this video short and sweet. Again, if you resonate with these topics and these videos, I highly encourage you to click the link in the description. 8amapp.com. We have like a 400-person waiting list, and we're looking for entrepreneurs that want to align under God, create things originally, not be replaced by AI, and travel, meet other successful entrepreneurs, and grow together. So that's it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.